It's good to see everybody. All familiar faces tonight. So we got everybody that has been through the form. I think tonight we can go ahead and dive right in. If everybody's okay, unless you have any questions, I can review anything. If not, let's go ahead and get started. Just to remember to breathe deeply into your diaphragm, in through your nose, out through your nose. Notice if you're moving because you're thinking or because you have a pain or something that is calling you to move. And just move with ease and joy for yourself from a place of reverence. All right. Welcome to DojoX Meditation Group Sangha. Thanks for being here. Thank you again for being here. It's a pleasure to sit with all of you. So tonight's talk is on how the mind will make up stories about your reality and how a lot of times they're false. What your mind thinks is not always true. And I've been talking to friends lately, and it came up where, and then I'm experiencing this also. And I'll start with the first story of my friend that was having pain in his hip. And he went for months with pain in his hip to almost where he was limping and to the point where he needed a cane. He's about 10 years younger than me. And that I was telling him that my dad went and had hip surgery, and it actually was one of the best things that he could ever do to get the hip surgery over with and actually go through the process. And so then I hadn't seen him for a couple months, and I was pulling up over here into my driveway, and I saw him outside playing basketball. I'm like, wow, look at you playing basketball. What happened? And he goes, I finally went in and had the hip surgery. I can actually do something that I enjoy and that I love. And I said, what made you finally do it? And he's all, I got over my fear and resistance that my mind made up about the surgery, and I just went and did it. And so here he is now being able to do something that he loves, and so he gave into what his mind made up about going and having surgery or having procedure done, and it's actually been better for him in living a more fuller life. So I myself have been working with my teeth, and I've been resisting going to the dentist, and I finally went to the dentist and I started the process. Amber's been supporting me and going, and I make up all the stories about when I was a boy and I got hit in the mouth with a baseball and all the different things that came up around that my mind holds on to and creates. And so I find it fascinating that the mind will create things to hold you back, well, say fear and resistance, and create stories about doing something that will benefit you. And so in the medical world, that for me has been around the dentist, and I'm going through the process right now. For my friend having hip surgery, I watched my dad go through hip surgery where he waited until he was almost in a wheelchair, and now he can travel and do everything that he wants to do. And so sitting in Zazen and sitting in meditation is the practice of letting go of those thoughts and stories that your mind makes up, and choosing to listen deeper to yourself, to your gut instinct or your hara, and trust in the process of what's supposed to happen or unfold, doing your due diligence on what needs to happen, and also being willing to not let fear and resistance hold you back from actually going through and doing things that will actually enhance my teeth being in my mouth, or if you have a bad hip, or I have another friend going in for double knee replacement on Friday, and we were talking about the same thing. And he's like, I can bear it, double knee replacement. So he's getting both of them done at the same time.
Knees are not good.
Yeah, exactly. And to let go into that and actually go through the process that, he's an avid cyclist and loves to cycle hundreds of miles on a weekly basis. And he's like, Tony, I got to get it done. And I was telling him about my sister-in-law, Megan, that she had both her hips replaced, and now she's hiking and running and doing all these things from getting both sides. It's incredible what you can have done in the medical world. But the point being is how the mind will create these stories in your life that will hold you back from moving forward, whether with aging, whether with making decisions, whether with trusting your heart, trusting processes that you're going through. And so in seated meditation, you're training yourself to listen to your body more than your thinking, or to let go of your ego and really just check in with yourself. And I had so much fear and resistance that I would talk to Amber about around getting dental work done, and that I watched myself have to sit in the chair. Steve, we were talking about the fear that I was experiencing, sitting in the chair and going back to my breath and really dropping into like a meditation in the chair in order to not be in like anxiety or panic. And so as we sit in meditation as a group, that is a practice of returning back to that core place within inside yourself and not identifying with your ego or your thinking. And so to do that every day, to practice every day, the resistance as a younger man that I used to avoid sitting in meditation was real for me. It was like the thing that I avoided the most, and as I grew older and started to lean into it, and I'd miss days and then start over again, and miss days and start over, and it eventually became where I didn't listen to the thinking when I'd wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I would go and meditate. And I still do that now, is getting up, and sometimes I watch my mind tell me, don't do that, stay in bed. And so I choose to get up before me and Amber have our hot tub time, to sit quietly by myself and follow my breath and let go of my thinking for the day. So the practice of sitting in Zazen and sitting in meditation, the practice of letting go of your thinking and your ego self and not identifying as the stories that they're not real. I'm going to say 95% of the time, everything that you see and think of is usually it's not accurate to a definite. There's always different viewpoints or vantage points, like a diamond of stories that are happening. Everybody in here is seeing a different viewpoint of me, and there's 6 different stories of it that is being witnessed in me right now. So that to be open to that, it may not be actual, but also that you can trust in what you feel inside your body and what you're doing, and the willingness to continually show up to a place where, we're not doing guided meditation, we're not doing a meditation where there's sound meditation, it's stillness and silence, is that to show up and sit consistently like this takes letting go of that thinking and ego, and the willingness to trust your heart and your hara. And so I honor that we all sit together and that we're practicing together. And I remind you to sit daily when you start your day, and if you feel called to even ending your day with some breaths to return back in and honor the day through some gratitude of being in this body and in this time and in this space. So letting go of your thinking and your story and training at it through seated meditation. That's what we're doing here, and returning to that place that's even below your hara, that stillness and silence that's inside of all of us. So thank you for participating in this, and if there's any questions, be happy to answer them, or we can go ahead and move right into our next 10 minutes. Excellent. Thank you all for being here. Let's go ahead and move into our next sitting. Everybody doing okay with their chair? And you good, Dexter? Excellent. Lorenzo?
Yeah.
Excellent, good. Andrew, that pillow working out for you?
Oh yeah, yes.
Excellent. All right. Thank you. Thank you for coming tonight. Again, if you do feel like you want to invite somebody that would benefit from sitting in our group, you're more than welcome to invite them. They can either come a few